Business law. What is law? Law is broadly defined as any rule of action or system of uniformity governing not only human behavior but also the movements of all creation. According to St. Thomas Aquinas, law is an ordinance of right reason established for the common good, created by an authority responsible for the welfare of the community. General division of law. Law is generally divided into two: state law, promulgated and enforced by the state, also known as positive, municipal, or civil law, and into non-state law, which includes divine law, natural law, moral law, and physical law. There are four characteristics of law. One, as a rule of conduct, defines what actions are permissible. Two, it is obligatory, imposes a duty to comply with potential sanctions for disobedience. Three, promulgated by legitimate authority, established by the governing bodies like legislators. 4. Common observance and benefit. It is intended to promote order and coexistence in society. Necessity and function of law. Law is essential for societal stability and order, providing structure that prevents chaos. It secures justice, resolves conflicts, and regulates social interactions. Social control mechanisms, such as laws, are necessary for social longevity. Sources of law in the Philippines. Number one is the Constitution, the foundational document defining government powers and responsibilities. Legislation, enacted laws from competent authorities, primarily Congress. Administrative rules, issued by administrative officials under legislative authority. Judicial decisions, court rulings, especially from Supreme Court, which interpret laws. Civil Code. The Civil Code governs private relations among individuals, detailing rights and obligations related to persons, property, and civil acts. Its sources include the Civil Code of Spain, various international legal codes, judicial decisions, Philippine statutes, and customary laws. This comprehensive overview emphasizes the multifaceted nature of law, its necessity for societal function, and its foundational sources. Business and the law. To maintain wealth, it is essential to employ a skilled banker and lawyer, as their collaboration is crucial in both generating and protecting financial assets. Understanding the laws that govern commercial activities is vital for anyone seeking to succeed in business. What is business law? Business law is a branch of law that addresses the legal aspects related to business entities, such as companies and partnerships, which significantly impact society and the economy. Characteristics of business law. Rights and obligation. Business law defines the rights and obligations of business entities, ensuring the protection of their interests and those of their stakeholders. Comprehensive scope. It encompasses various areas, including contract law, intellectual property law, securities law, and employment law, among others. Legal impact. Every business transaction and activity carries legal consequences, from formation to dissolution, necessitating compliance with legal principles. Economic relevance. In today's economic climate, business laws play a crucial role in supporting economic growth and ensuring businesses are accountable to society. Continuous update. Businesses may stay informed about relevant laws to achieve success and fulfill their responsibilities to the nation. Civil Code provisions on obligations and contracts. Book 4 of the Civil Code deals with obligations and contracts. The general provision on obligations are contained in Title 1, Articles 1156 to 1304, while those in contracts in Title 2, Articles 1305 to 1422. The general rules of law governing contracts are also applicable to the particular kinds of contracts like sale, agency, partnership, barter, etc. Book 4 also contains new provisions dealing with natural obligations which are found in Title 3, Articles 1423 to 1430. Law of Obligations and Contracts. The law of obligations and contracts is a framework that governs the nature, sources, rights, and duties arising from agreements and specific contracts. Understanding these laws require adherence to fundamental principles of human relations, particularly Article 19 of the Civil Code of the Philippines, which mandates that individuals act with justice, fulfill their duties, and engage in honesty and good faith. Conclusive presumption of knowledge of law. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse for non-compliance. Article 3 of the Civil Code. Everyone is presumed to know the law which is essential for maintaining social order and ensuring enforceability. Failure to observe these principles can lead to civil liability. Reasons for presumption. Laws must be binding for society to function. Without knowledge, enforcement becomes impossible. Proving ignorance of the law is often unfeasible. It is illogical to exempt individuals from legal responsibility due to ignorance, while increasing burdens of those who are informed. Individuals possess an innate sense of right and wrong, and legal counsel is available for complex situations. Allowing ignorance as a defense would undermine justice and facilitate legal evasion. Conclusion. Business law is essential for regulating commercial activities, establishing a framework that outlines the rights and obligations of business entities. It covers various legal areas including contract law, intellectual property law, and employment law, ensuring compliance with legal standards. A thorough understanding of business law is vital for entrepreneurs and business professionals as it helps navigate legal complexities and promotes ethical conduct and accountability. By adhering to business laws, organizations can reduce risks and avoid liabilities, contributing to a stable economic environment. In an ever-changing economic landscape, being informed about relevant law is crucial for success. This knowledge enables businesses to make informed decisions, ensuring compliance and build trust in the marketplace, ultimately fostering sustainable growth and benefiting society. Integrating legal knowledge with business skills is essential for anyone involved in commerce. Business report writing. Business reports are actual documents that inform by summarizing and analyzing a particular situation, issue, or facts, and then make recommendations to the group or person asking for the report. To quote, a report is a formal communication written for a specific purpose that includes a description of procedures followed for collection and analysis of data, their significance, the conclusions drawn from them, and the recommendations, if required. R.C. Sharma and Krishna Mohan. Grammar is important in business writing. In a survey where over 700 business writers were asked to list important aspects of correspondence, 98% ranked correct grammar as an essential component of successful writing. Business writing demands short, denotative words, short, simple sentences, short paragraphs with information clarified through graphics, pie charts, line graphs, etc. It has everything to do with audience and purpose. Why do we need to write a report? To examine potential and available solutions to an issue, situation, or problem, to apply business and management theories to produce different suggestions for improvement, to make conclusions about an issue or problem, to produce a range of suggestions for future actions. Business reports comes in different lengths and levels of formality, serves different and overlapping purposes, can be conveyed to an audience using different communication channels. Business report is used to supply a record of work accomplished, record and clarify complex information for future reference, present information to a large number of people, record problems encountered, document schedules, timetables, and milestones, recommend future actions, document current status, record procedures. Types of business reports. Informational reports. These provide data without analysis or recommendation, like annual reports or monthly sales reports. Analytical reports. These include both data and analysis, often with recommendations such as feasibility studies or market analysis reports. Proposal reports. These are persuasive documents aiming to convince the reader to take a specific action like approving a project or budget. The structure of a business report. The title page. It includes the report title, the author, the date, and often the recipient's name. Executive summary. A brief overview of the report's content, highlighting key points, conclusions, and recommendations. It is often written last but placed at the beginning of the report. Table of contents. List sections and page numbers for easy navigation. Introduction. Sets the context, purpose, and scope of the report, explaining why the report was prepared. Body. The main section where data is presented and analyzed. This is usually divided into several sections or subheadings, depending on the complexity of the report. Conclusion summarizes the finding and analysis, often without introducing new information. Recommendations offer specific advice based on the report's findings, often in a separate section. Appendices include any supporting material, such as charts, graphs, or detailed data that are too bulky to include in the body. To write an effective business report, it is imperative to follow the C's of business report writing. Coherence, or the sticking together of ideas. Use transitional or pivotal words, examples of which are however, used to introduce a contrast or exception. Therefore, indicates a conclusion or result based on previous statement. Moreover, adds additional information that supports the previous point, although introduces a contrast or qualification to the statement that follows. Furthermore, used to introduce additional evidence or arguments that reinforce the previous point. Clearness or clarity. Use simple and familiar words. A number of people believe that using high-sounding phrases or highfalutin words is a sign of intelligence. Since our goal is to be understood, use familiar words, not fancy language. Use concrete words. The use of explicit, tangible language promotes understanding. Concrete expressions create more sharp and vivid images, thus hold the reader's interest more than the abstract ones. Avoid redundancies. Words with overlapping meaning delay the transmission of your message instead of enhancing its clarity. Consistency. Use, use English words consistently. Conciseness. Use short words and construct short sentences. Avoid the use of unnecessary words. A report should be free from redundant phrases and abundance of prepositional phrases. Completeness. Use full words and avoid omission of necessary word ideas. Concreteness. Use specific words, not generic words. Correctness. Use precise words and edit your letter before sending it. Courteousness or courtesy. Use polite and tactful words. Consideration. Use euphemisms, good sounding words, and kind, not rude words. Character. Personality or individuality. Use your own words. Cheerfulness. Use smiling and encouraging words. Conversational quality. Use words in a conversational manner. Conclusion. Business report writing emphasizes the importance of conciseness and brevity to ensure that your message is communicated clearly and efficiently to the intended audience. This approach is crucial in the business context where time is often limited and the need for quick, actionable insights is paramount. Unlike other forms of writing, such as essays, which may employ longer, more connotative language to explore ideas in depth, business reports favor straightforward language that gets directly to the point. Essays often feature complex sentence structures and elaborate paragraphs to fully develop an argument or narrative, whereas business reports are designed to present information in a clear, structured, and accessible manner. This difference reflects the distinct purposes of these two forms of writing. Essays are often intended to persuade or explore concepts, while business reports are focused on informing decision making and driving action. Thank you. Gender and society. The society which we live influences us every day of our lives. What we eat and drink, what toy to play with, how to behave in particular ways, what course to take in college, what job to choose, whom to marry, how many children to have, everything. We are being shaped by the society. As we go through this report, we will find that the word society is not that simple to visualize. We will discover its importance, its complexity, and its role in building and sustaining a world. At the end of this report, we should have differentiated society from culture, compared and contrasted the basic characteristics of the different types of societies, expressed through writing the relationship between culture and society, and assess the relevance of studying culture and society to current social situation. Explain the concept of development, differentiated sex from gender, developed an understanding of basic concepts and approaches in analyzing roles, relationships, and situations from a gender perspective. Recognize some gender issues, their manifestations and structural causes, and analyze how gender issues impede societal development. Society. The concept of society is central to social science, but is often used without deep reflection. While complex and abstract, various sociologists have tried to define it. Misiones, 2012. Society is a group of people interacting within a defined territory and sharing a culture. McIver and Page. It is a system of rules, procedures, and mutual aid with controls on behavior and freedoms. Ginsberg, 1950. Society is a collection of individuals connected by specific relations or behaviors. Fischer, 1957. Society is a network of major groups sharing a common culture. Robertson, 1977. Society involves interacting individuals who share territory and culture. Type of societies. Hunting and gathering societies. Small, simple societies that hunt and gather food. They are egalitarian with very low inequality. Horticultural and pastoral societies. Larger than hunting and gathering societies, horticultural societies grow crops with simple tools, while pastoral societies raise livestock. These societies are wealthier but have more inequality and conflict. Agricultural societies utilize plows and other devices to grow crops on a large scale. They are wealthier and have higher levels of conflict and inequality compared to horticultural and pastoral societies. Industrial societies. Characterized by factories and machines, these societies are wealthier and emphasize individualism with a lower but still significant level of inequality. Post-industrial societies. Focused on information technology and service jobs, these societies value higher education for economic success. These definitions and types illustrate the diverse forms of human organization and how societies have evolved, each with unique social structure and levels of inequality. Culture. Culture and society are closely connected but have distinct meanings. According to Mansiones, 2012, culture is defined as a shared way of life, while society refers to people who interact with a defined territory and share that culture. Culture is created through the interactions of individuals within a group and is not the product of a single individual. Components of culture. Material culture includes all physical objects created and used by people, such as tools, technology, food, clothing, buildings, and other tangible items. Material culture is developed as a way to adapt to the environment and meet societal needs, like using plows for farming or building flood-resistant houses. Non-material culture comprises intangible aspects such as norms, values, beliefs, and language that govern behavior and, and social interaction. This component acts as an unwritten agreement that everyone within the society is expected to follow. Elements of non-material culture. Norms. Standards of behavior that dictate what is considered normal in society. They can be classified as folkways, customary rules of conduct, such as celebrating fiestas or birthdays. They are not essential to societal welfare and are not strictly enforced. Mores. Essential norms that require obligatory behavior and are often linked to societal values, ethics, or religious beliefs. I think this is moral. Violating mores can lead to being labeled as deviant. Laws. Formalized norms established by legislative bodies with penalties for noncompliance. Elements of non-material culture. Values. Ideas of worth and desirability, such as hospitality, hard work, respect for elders, and religiosity. These values define what is important to the society. Beliefs. Ideas held about the universe, which may be used on scientific evidence or shared stories and experiences that foster societal solidarity. Language. A system of symbols, spoken, signed, or written, that enables communication within a society. Language plays a crucial role in the transmission and preservation of culture. Together, these elements of culture help shape societal interactions and maintain cohesion within a group. Gender. Sex and gender are often used interchangeably, but they have distinct meanings, leading to confusion and limiting individuals' potential. Sex refers to biological differences, while gender involves socially constructed roles and expectations. Understanding these differences helps people recognize how each sex can contribute significantly to all aspects of life. Gender and development, or God, is a perspective that promotes gender equality by acknowledging that development impacts people differently based on their class, age, religion, ethnicity, and gender. God emphasizes that development is for everyone, advocating for equal opportunities for a fulfilling life. Development is not just economic but involves social changes that improve quality of life for all, including equal access to opportunities and protection from violence. Achieving true development requires shared responsibility among individuals, the government, and all entities affected by or benefiting from development efforts. God is often misconceived as only for women, but it addresses the needs of both men and women, promoting equality and shared growth. True development necessitates participation from everyone, regardless of their background, to ensure that no one is marginalized. Sex and gender are often confused, but they are distinct terms that have different meanings. Sex refers to the biological classification of individuals as male or female, which is determined before birth and is universal across all cultures. In contrast, gender is a cultural construct that defines what is considered masculine or feminine and assigns roles and expectations based on societal norms. Unlike sex, gender is learned through socialization within cultural contexts and varies across the different societies. Sex is fixed and determined biologically, while gender is fluid, learned after birth, and shaped by societal perceptions, roles, and expectations. The socially constructed roles often lead to stereotypes that limit individuals' abilities and potential, confining them to societal expectations. This socialization occurs within various social institutions, reinforcing gender norms and influencing how individuals behave and interact. Gender issues encompass beliefs, attitude, and societal constructs that limit individuals' potential, affecting all people regardless of gender, age, or race. These issues often manifest through expectations that confine men and women to traditional roles. For instance, in agriculture, men are typically seen as farmers, despite women performing much of the labor, leading to disparities in resource allocation and income. Studies show persistent gender pay gaps across various sectors, with men often earning significantly more than women. The division of roles highlights a reproductive women versus productive men dichotomy, dichotomy, with societal norms undervaluing women's domestic contributions. Transactional process often favor men, limiting women's access to financial resources and decision-making power. Victim blaming in cases of gender-based violence reflects deeper societal stereotypes and biases. Men face their own gender issues, including expectations to be emotionally stoic and aggressive, while women's issues often include marginalization, subordination, stereotyping, multiple burdens, and violence. Overall, gender issues are complex and affect both men and women, but the impact is often more pronounced for women, who experience systemic inequities and violence more frequently. Sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, or SOGI. SOGI encompasses characteristics relevant to all individuals, not just those identifying as LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. Everyone has a sexual orientation, which refers to who one is attracted to, homosexual, heterosexual, or bisexual, and a gender identity, which is an individual's internal sense of being male, female, or outside that binary. Gender expression involves how individuals convey their gender through appearance and behavior. List of definitions for the terms associated with SOGI. Ally. A person who challenges discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. Bisexual. Attracted to both men and women. Cisgender. Gender identity matches sex assigned at birth. Coming out. Disclosing one's sexual orientation or gender identity. Gay. Typically refers to men attracted to men, but can also include women. Gender. A social construct differentiating roles and identities beyond biological sex. Gender non-conforming, GNC. Individuals who do not adhere to traditional gender roles. Heterosexuality. Attraction to individuals of the opposite sex. Homophobia. Fear or hatred of LGBTQ plus individuals. Intersex. Medical conditions where individuals have reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit typical definitions of male or female. Lesbian. Women attracted to women. Queer. An inclusive term for all LGBTQ plus identities, often used as a political statement. Transgender. Gender identity differs from sex assigned at birth. Two-spirit. A term used in some Native American cultures for those embodying both male and female gender roles. Issuances that promote gender equality. There are various national and international issuances wherein gender and development initiatives of the government are anchored. These issuances not only serve as a policy framework for a unified understanding of what needs to be done, but also signify the commitment of each member state toward ensuring gender equality. The Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW, adopted by the UN in 1979 and effective from 1981, CEDAW is often referred to as the International Bill of Rights of Women. It comprises 30 articles aimed at eliminating discrimination against women in all spheres of life. Discrimination is defined as any distinction based on sex that impairs women's rights and freedoms. The Philippines ratified CEDAW in 1979, committing to implement its provisions. Beijing Platform for Action, or BPFA. The BPFA emerged from the Fourth World Conference on Women in 1995, advocating for gender mainstreaming in all policies and programs globally. It established 12 critical areas of concern and directed the UN Commission on the Status of Women to monitor progress and promote gender perspectives in UN activities. Commemorative meetings have been held to review its implementation over the years. The Millennium Development Goals, MDG. The MDGs, established in 2000, included a focus on gender equality as a key goal. The Philippines committed to frameworks that promote gender equality in education, employment, and political participation. Despite progress, significant gaps remain, particularly in labor force participation and decision-making roles. Magna Carta for Women. The MCW is a comprehensive law in the Philippines that seek to eliminate discrimination against women, particularly from marginalized groups. It aligns with international treaties like CEDAW and outlines government responsibilities to ensure substantive equality. Key provisions include achieving gender balance in government positions, providing paid leave for women with gynecological surgeries, ensuring non-discrimination in military and police services, promoting equal access to education and prohibiting discrimination based on pregnancy, establishing equal land and property rights. The MCW mandates gender mainstreaming across government sectors, requiring the collection of gender disaggregated data and the integration of gender concerns in planning and policy. The Sustainable Development Goals. Adopted in 2015, the SDGs emphasize a universal approach to ending poverty and ensuring peace and prosperity by 2030, with goal number 5 specifically targeting gender equality. Achieving this goal involves addressing systemic inequalities, enhancing women's rights to land, health, and technology, and encouraging female leadership. CHED Memorandum Circular Number 1, Series of 2015, establishing the policies and guidelines on gender and development in the Commission on Higher Education and Higher Education Institutions. This circular directs the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, to implement the MCW's provision within higher education institutions. It emphasizes the establishment of gender and development focal point systems and the integration of gender concerns in educational programs and activities. Addressing societal issues related to culture, gender, and inequality requires comprehensive understanding and collaborative efforts. By recognizing the interconnectedness of this element, we can work toward a more equitable and inclusive society that values and empowers all individuals, regardless of gender or background. Thank you. Machine Shorthand 3. Machine shorthand, also known as stenography, is a method of transcribing spoken words quickly and accurately using a specialist machine called a stenotype or shorthand machine. This technology is widely used in court reporting, live captioning, and other professions requiring real-time transcription of speech. This report aims to help us learn about the different abbreviations, phrases, and derivatives, learn about proper home key positions, discuss the vowel I and initial N, discuss the I for the final Y. Understanding the shorthand machine. This provides an overview of the machine shorthand keyboard. It also describes machine shorthand and how an individual uses the writer. The shorthand machine is designed to accurately make a written record of spoken words at high speeds. Using sounds instead of spelling out each letter, a machine shorthand writer presses down several keys at once to record a word. This is much faster than a typewriter or a computer keyboard, where you can only press one key at a time. This means that the machine shorthand writer, using sounds, can write whole words or even a phrase in just one downward motion of their fingers. As we look at the front of our writer, notice that the keyboard is divided into four sets or banks of keys. The number bar, the long solid bar at the top of the keyboard, the upper bar, the row of 10 keys just below the number bar, the lower bank, the remaining consonant keys located below the upper bank, and the vowel keys, the four keys at the front of the keyboard. The upper and lower banks of the keys to the left of the asterisks are the initial keys. These components are generally used to begin a word. The upper and lower bank of keys to the right of the asterisk are the final keys. These consonants are generally used following the vowels to end a word or abbreviated phrase. The number bar is used in conjunction with the upper bank of keys to write numbers. When the number bar is depressed along with the initial S, on the left side of the keyboard, it produces the number 1. When the number bar is depressed with the initial T, it produces the number 2 and so on. The number bar depressed with the asterisk key produces a space in the steno notes. The asterisk key produces an asterisk. The asterisk symbol is generally used to denote a mistake, indicate a correction, or to distinguish homonyms. Similar to a typewriter, your fingers have a home position on the keyboard, as shown in the previous diagram. Notice that the vowel keys are slightly lower than the other three banks of keys. This allows for the natural position of your thumbs. Unlike the typewriter, where each key is pressed one at a time, any number or all of the keys on a shorthand machine can be stroked or pressed down at the same time. This means that a machine shorthand writer can write an entire word, syllable, or phrase in just one stroke. Although the keyboard does not contain all the letters of the alphabet, letters are used in combination to identify the remaining consonants. You will also notice that while some letters do not appear at all, other letters appear twice. The machine shorthand keyboard was designed to write sounds. Most words and syllable sounds begin with one or more consonants, followed by a vowel, and end with one or more consonants. The machine automatically creates spaces between the strokes, so the writer never needs to take their fingers off the keyboard to press a return or enter key. Computer software translates each stroke or group of strokes immediately into text by comparing the strokes to an electronic table of words and phrases called a dictionary. This dictionary automatically provides for correct spelling of words, punctuation, and spacing between words. Once the steno strokes are translated into words, text editing software is used to make corrections and to produce a final printed transcript. First letter combination, vowel I and initial N. Vowel I is represented by the letter combination E and U. Write I by depressing vowels E and U with the right thumb. E and U appears at the center of the paper tape. Initial N is represented by the letter combination T, P, and H. Write letter N by depressing T, P, H together by the left ring, middle, and index finger. Examples Examples I, sit, S, E, T. Right, R, E, U, T. Nice, T, P, H, E, U, S. No, T, P, H, O. News, T, P, H, U, S. Night, T, P, H, E, U, T. Using I for final Y. Y at the end of a word that sounds like I will be written as I, like in try, and city, which will be written as try, and city. Example, try, T, R, E, U. City, S, T, E, and E. Tasty, T, A, S, T, E. Cry, K, R, E, U. Abbreviations. Abbreviation is a shortened form of a word or phrase used chiefly in writing to represent the complete form. Here are new set of abbreviations which we should learn. They are used to make typing faster. I is shortened into EU, in or no is TPH, any is TPH space E, tonight. Tonight is TPH EU T. Number is TPH and O. Advertise is T, EU, and S. Stenotype writing is the greatest single forward step in the history of shorthand writing. Simply by equipping the computer or typewriter with an inexpensive, patented line shift, the operator is enabled to take dictation on the typewriters or computer. Steno typewriting can be written at a higher rate of speed than shorthand can be read, like print, because it is print, is true and complete, not a code or word sign system. Steno typewriting operators command larger salaries than ordinary stenographers because businessmen are willing to pay more for a better quality. Thank you. Science, Technology, and Society. Science, Technology, and Society (STS) is an interdisciplinary field that examines how scientific knowledge and technological systems are produced, distributed, and utilized, along with their impacts on various groups of people. It integrates insights from the history and philosophy of science and technology, sociology, anthropology, policy studies, and cultural studies to inform its analysis. Under an overview. Understanding of scientific practices. Gain direct experience in knowledge making through laboratory sciences, mathematics, and engineering. Historical and social analysis. Examine science and technology as both historical practice and social institutions and understood the theories and methods used in these studies. Social and cultural context. Explain how social and cultural factors influence science and technology within specific fields. Individual research. Develop personal interests through a thesis or research paper that engages with a technological controversy, policy issue, or related topic. Integration of knowledge. Demonstrated the ability to integrate various course streams through a senior thesis seminar or capstone project. Preparation for future careers. Equipped for further studies or careers in fields such as health sciences, science writing, design, engineering, public policy, environmental studies, law, or academia. This report aims to provide an in-depth discussion and understanding of the general concepts and historical developments that demonstrates how social considerations have influenced the direction of science and technology at both global and local levels. It will also explore the interaction between science and technology throughout history. One key objective of this report is to enhance critical thinking and analysis, focusing on how scientific and technological advancements impact society and the environment. As Carl Sagan eloquently expressed in Cosmos, if we lived in a world where nothing ever changed, there would be little to explore. Conversely, in a world of complete unpredictability, we would struggle to make sense of anything. Fortunately, we exist in an in-between universe where changes occur according to patterns, rules, or the laws of nature. This allows us to make discoveries, pursue science, and ultimately improve our lives. Historical antecedents in the course of science and technology. The history of science and technology examines how humanity's understanding of the natural world and its ability to manipulate it have evolved over time, and explores the cultural, economic, and political impacts of science innovation. Culture is a society's way of life, shaping identities and providing a framework for understanding right and wrong. Society is a group of individuals who share a common culture, location, and government, characterized by social solidarity, shared identity, language, population sustainability, and geographical area. Types of societies. Hunting and gathering societies. The earliest societies organized around family and clan units, with food provided through hunting and gathering. Horticultural and pastoral societies evolved from hunting and gathering, focusing on plant cultivation and animal domestication for stable food production. Agricultural societies emerged about 10,000 years ago with the development of advanced farming techniques, permanent settlements, and food surpluses that spurred trade. Industrial societies began during the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century with technological advancements that transformed production and led to urbanization. Post-industrial societies. From the late 20th century these societies focus on knowledge as a key resource, with technological innovation and the internet driving growth and development. Culture. A foundational element of society, culture encompasses the beliefs, values, practices, knowledge, history, and material objects shared by members of a community. E.B. Taylor defined culture as a complex whole that includes norms, laws, attitudes, symbols, and all learned behaviors shared by society. Science. Derived from the Latin word scire, meaning to know, science refers to the body of knowledge accumulated through observation, experimentation, and analysis. Technology. From the Greek word techni, art or craft, and logos, study, technology refers to the practical application of scientific knowledge to create tools, systems, and solutions. Science and technology. These fields play essential roles in modern life by simplifying complex tasks and increasing efficiency. Their development has been marked by gradual improvements over time, addressing human needs such as transportation, communication, production, security, health, aesthetics, and architecture, especially during ancient times. Periods and contributions to science and technology. The ancient times. People were concerned with transportation and navigation, communication and record keeping, mass production, security and protection, as well as health, aesthetics, and architecture. The Sumerian civilization. Sumerians are known for their high degree of cooperation with one another and their desire for great things. They are not contented with the basic things in life can offer. This desire pushed them to develop many things connected with science and technology. The Babylonian civilization. Babylonian civilization emerged near the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The Babylonians were great builders, engineers, and architects. One of their major contributions is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. The Egyptian civilization. Many stories tell about the engineering feats of the Egyptians, especially regarding the infrastructure established by the pharaohs. Aside from engineering technology, the Egyptians have contributed other practical things to the world now considered as essential. It is thus safe to say the pyramids are not the only contribution of the Egyptian civilization to the modern world. The Greek civilization. Greece is an archipelago in the southeastern part of Europe. Known as the birthplace of Western philosophy, some of the major achievements of the Greeks include in-depth works on philosophy and mathematics. More than Colosseums and the Olympics, the Greek civilization has contributed much to the world, especially in the fields of science and technology. The Roman civilization. The Roman Empire was perceived to be the strongest political and social entity in the West. It was considered to be cradle of politics and governance during that period. Because the Roman Empire was so large, other civilizations looked up to it as their model in terms of legislation and codified laws. Aside from their contributions in politics, a lot of discoveries and inventions still relevant today can be attributed to the Roman Empire. The Chinese civilization. The Chinese civilization is considered to be the oldest civilization in Asia, if not in the world. Also known as the Middle Kingdom, China is located on the far east of Asia. It was famous among other ancient civilizations because of its silk trade. Not a great amount was written about ancient China, partly due to its distance from other civilizations. Despite its less popular status among the early civilizations, one cannot discredit the significant contributions of Chinese civilization to the world. The medieval or Middle Ages. The start of the Middle Ages was marred by massive invasions and migrations. Wars were prevalent during the time. Such great technology was needed in the fields of weaponry, navigation, mass food and farm production, health. The wars have resulted in population decline, but during the latter part of the period, there was a significant rise in population. Trade and commerce among nations increased, which resulted in greater demands for transportation technology. Some of the most innovative minds came from this period. The modern times. The booming world population during the 19th century onwards demanded that more goods be produced at a faster rate. People needed efficient means of transportation to trade more goods and cover a larger distance. Machines that required animals to operate must thus be upgraded. Faster and easier means to communicate and compute should be developed to establish connections between and among nations. All these needs resulted in the development of industries. However, due to massive industrialization, the modern times again faced more complicated problems. Food processing and medicines posed some of the bigger challenges since health was of great concern. The Philippines invention. Despite being considered a developing country, the Philippines also contributes to the global advancement of science and technology. It is quite remarkable to note the ingenuity of the Filipinos despite the lack in resources. The Philippines is known to be one of the most vulnerable countries in terms of natural disasters. Many of the discoveries and inventions made by the Filipinos were therefore built from indigenous materials or created to adapt the harsh tropical environment. Intellectual revolutions. The intellectual revolutions refer to early Greek speculation about nature during the pre-Socratic period, around 600 to 400 BCE. This era is also known as First Philosophy or non-theological thinking, focused primarily on physics and logic rather than ethics. Three key features of this intellectual approach include the world as a natural whole, with no reliance on supernatural forces to explain events, a belief in natural order, governed by laws of nature, human capacity to discover these laws. These early philosophers, many of whom lived in colonies like Ionia or modern-day Turkey, were concerned with understanding the primary substance of the universe, the Greek word arche, and explaining change within it. Although they thought in non-theological terms, most were not atheists, but viewed the natural order as reflecting an underlying intelligence or logos, or the rational principle. Their inquiries laid the groundwork for modern physics and science, as they explored fundamental questions about the composition and transformation of natural substances. The Copernican Revolution. Shift in the field of astronomy from a geocentric understanding of the universe centered around the Earth to a heliocentric understanding centered around the Sun, as articulated by the Polish astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus in the 16th century. This shift marked the start of a broader scientific revolution that set the foundation of modern science and allowed science to flourish as an autonomous discipline within its own right. The Darwinian Revolution remains an acceptable phrase to describe the change in thought brought about by the theory of evolution, provided that the revolution is seen as occurring over an extended period of time. The decades from the 1790s through the 1850s are the focus of this article. Emphasis is placed on the issue of species extinction and on generational shifts in opinion, the Freudian Revolution, relating to the ideas or methods of Sigmund Freud, especially his ideas about the way in which people's hidden thoughts and feelings influence their behavior, especially with respect to the causes and treatment of neurotic and psychopathic states, as the interpretation of dreams, etc. Other contributors to the intellectual revolutions. Thales, circa 585 BCE, argued that the primary substance was water, perhaps observing that water can be observed in liquid, gas, or solid form. Whether he believed everything was truly based on water, or whether he used water as an analogy, is not quite clear. Consider, too, that the use of water as primary substance is not far removed from the primary substance of many creation of myths. Xenophanes, another 16th century Ionian from the town of Colophon, went on a different direction, applying the logical methods of the Ionians to understanding of the Greek gods. Here, Heraclitus, who defined this entity with his term logos or rational principle. In this citation, Heraclitus articulates one of the most important problems of philosophy and of science. As everything is in the process of change, how can one know anything for certain? The statement is the foundation of epistemology, the study of knowledge. The most recent and significant formulation of the problem is the Heisenberg principle, devised by the Nobel Prize-winning physicist of the 1930s, Pythagoras, and his followers perceived that the ultimate reality, arche, was not something material but number. Parmenides and his disciple Zeno argued the contrary of Heraclitus, namely that motion or change is logically impossible. Something either is or is not, typically called being and non-being. If being changes if being changes, it can only become non-being, but that is impossible. Science, technology, and nation building. Science and technology are dynamic processes engaged in by man to satisfy two basic needs: the thirst for knowledge and the material requirements for human survival and prosperity. Science and technology had been around even before the words biology, physics, chemistry, engineering, and agriculture were coined. Science: the description, understanding, and prediction of physical phenomena through the use of through the use and generation of verifiable theories, laws, and principles. Technology: the use of scientific knowledge and/or empirical know-how for the production, improvement, and distribution of goods and services, as well as the satisfaction of other material needs. Society: a group of persons joined together for common purpose or by common interest. They come to learn and perform behavior expected of them. The development of science and technology in the Philippines has already come a long way. Many significant inventions and discoveries have been accomplished by or attributed to Filipinos. The pre-colonial period. Scientific and technological development began. Use of plants and herbs as medicines. Implementation of systems farming and animal raising. Colonial period. Modern means of construction. Utilization of engineering skills and tools for walls, roads, bridges, and other large infrastructures. Post-colonial period. Achieving independence from the colonizers. Each Philippine president posted developments in science and technology. The pre-colonial period. Developed modes of transportation, whether terrestrial or maritime. Built rice terraces by hand. Colonial period. Spaniards developed a health and education system. Americans occupied modernization being established. Creation of Bureau of Science. Post-colonial period. President Marcos strengthened many agencies in science and technology such as PAGASA, National Academy of Science and Technology, and National Science and Technology Authority. Started the National Science and Development Board, now the Department of Science and Technology. In conclusion, science and technology are integral forces that have profoundly shaped human civilization, driving advancements in knowledge, innovation, and social progress. Science provides a systemic approach to understanding the natural world, while technology applies this knowledge to solve practical problems, enhancing human capabilities and quality of life. Together, they form a dynamic partnership that enables us to address complex challenges, improve global connectivity, and explore new frontiers. The continuous evolution of science and technology has transformed industries, healthcare, communication, and daily life. As they advance, ethical considerations and societal impacts must be carefully managed to ensure that the benefits of innovation are widely accessible and that they contribute positively to both society and the environment. Ultimately, the interplay of science and technology foster a future of sustainable development, shaping the way we live, work, and interact with the world. Thank you.